I've been running around in the Supra for the last week, which has been really interesting. It's quite a car, I can tell you. This particular car is the Supra GR Pro. On paper, this thing produces 335 horsepower and 500 newton meters of torque, and only weighs short of 1,500 kilos, so 1,495 kilos curb weight. It's really striking to look at. I think they've done an amazing job on the styling. Unmistakably Supra. Big wide haunches and a pointy nose, and yeah, very cool. Performance is pretty damn outrageous, honestly. I mean, on paper, this thing, statistics are, it would do 4.3 second 0 to 60, which is, what are we talking, Porsche Carrera. You know, it's a match for a Porsche Carrera on paper. That's not bad for a £54,000 car. To drive, I find it really, really exciting. It's always an event. It's an interesting thing. I mean, I won't bore you with all the toys and gadgets it's got. It's got everything. You know, it is what it is. It's a halo car, so it has everything you would possibly want. Traction control. Let's talk about that, because that's interesting. It has a couple of driver modes, essentially normal and sport. So in normal mode, it has everything's kind of softened, so the damping is a little bit softer, engine delivery is a little bit softer, engine response, steering is a little bit softer. But having said that, it's still a full-on sports car. It's just an easy to drive automatic sports car that you could drive day in, day out. Flick it into sport mode, and obviously everything firms up. Electronic suspension firms up, steering becomes more responsive, suspension becomes harder, and it's not an animal. That would be the wrong word to describe it, because it's very well put together and very well engineered. So it's not, you don't feel afraid of it, but it's fast and it's really fun to drive. In sport mode, you still have the electronics are still sort of they're kind of keeping things in check. So it will allow more wheel spin, and it will allow the car to move around a bit more. But if it gets sideways, it shuts everything off and brings it back into line. It is actually a little bit intrusive, and when it does react, so when you get it sideways, it's been wet pretty much every day I've had it. So if it gets a little bit sideways, it comes in fairly firmly, but that's not a bad thing. It's a short wheelbase, pointy, kind of frantic car with a lot of horsepower and a lot of torque, so it takes a bit of taming as well, I think. You can limit the amount of involvement. So when you're in sport, you have just normal amount of electronic intervention. Then you can limit that, and it'll go a little bit more sideways, it'll have more wheel spin, that kind of stuff, but it's still there. Or you could turn it all off if you're feeling brave enough. But like I say, this thing's fast, it's pointy, it's frantic, it's pretty crazy. So in the wet, it's a little bit of a handful, to be fair. On the odd time that we've had some dry roads, really good fun. It'll put a big smile on your face, that's for sure. You get an interesting reaction from people as well. You tend to get one of two responses. You get quite a lot of adoration, and people are really keen to see it, and there aren't many on the road, so you get people taking pictures of it and that kind of stuff, which, I'll be honest, is pretty cool. Or you get those little murmurings of, it's only a Z4 underneath. So, let's have a brief talk about that. Yeah, it shares its underpinnings with a BMW Z4, same engine, running gear, that kind of stuff. Obviously, styling is significantly different. Interior is significantly different. But if you open the bonnet, you've probably seen YouTube videos. You open the bonnet, there are loads of little BMW badges and that kind of stuff, because it shares its engineering with the BMW. The Supra has the 3-litre, or this one has the 3-litre turbocharged engine, produces 335 horsepower, 500 newton meters of torque, and that's mated to an 8-speed automatic gearbox. You flappy paddles and all the rest of it. and it's outrageous. I'm not joking. This thing's fast. What's this? Oh, Christ almighty. Wheel spin up through second and third. The roads are a bit damp at the moment, unfortunately. So it's, in fact, for the whole week I've had it, the roads have been, it's been pouring down with rain pretty much. I've had the odd moment of sunshine, which has been glorious, and this thing is phenomenal in the dry. Let's talk about those performance figures for a minute as well. Now, if you know about Supra, or if you're familiar with the icon that is the Toyota Supra, you'll be aware that one of the sort of key attributes of the Supra was its tunability with that 2JZ engine. Now, this one's got the B58 engine, BMW engine, also fitted to the 140M and the Z4. You know, it's a relatively new engine, certainly compared to a 2J. And but what an engine! I mean, the power delivery is not frightening, but it's so linear. It's a straight six, very linear, very strong, loads of low down torque. Don't know how they manage it, but it's really good engine, and already has proven to be extremely tunable. So out of the box, Toyota say this is 335 horsepower. I was reading an article on I think they're called Litchfield Motors, a company that are renowned for tuning like the 140Ms and that kind of stuff. They say they've never seen one with completely stock standard. They've never seen either a 140M or one of these with less than 360 horsepower. But with a £500 remap, they're at 440 anyway. 440 brake horsepower for £500. But look, what's the Supra like to live with, really? I've had it for a week. Mostly been raining, unfortunately, and it's been so much fun. Even in the wet, it's still so much fun. It does have quite a lot of grip, surprisingly. Big tyres still, but oh dear, so fast. God. God dear. So it's a bit cold, and the roads are still a little bit damp, so it struggles for grip, in all honesty, but still mighty fast. It's actually, you know, in all honesty, it's quite difficult to explore the limits of its performance on public roads because it is really fast. God dear. On these damp roads, you change down from third to second, and it's not quite often it'll start spinning its rear wheels. Christ. Wow. God, so fast. Oh God, Jesus. Whew. I'll never get tired of that.